Chosen one, the night has been long. You've walked through shadows, silence, and storms that felt endless. Every step you've taken has carried the weight of battles no one else could see. Your tears have watered the ground of midnights that seemed to stretch on forever, and still your spirit has held on. This is not by accident. You are not hearing this message by chance. There is a reason your heart is awake right now, leaning in, listening, searching for a word that confirms what your soul has been whispering all along. The darkness is lifting. Chosen one, heaven has seen you. God himself has marked the moment. The silence that pressed on you, the trials that stripped you bare, the loneliness that tried to suffocate your faith, all of it was temporary. And now, the eternal voice speaks. The night is ending, and God has called the morning. Do you feel it? That stirring in your chest that says something new is coming. Something you can't fully name yet, but you know is alive within you? That is not just hope. It is not just imagination. It is the divine echo of what has already been declared in the heavens. For too long, you've been told the night defines you, that your pain is permanent, that your delays mean denial, that your silence from God meant abandonment. But today, I stand here to shatter the lie. The morning has been summoned. When God calls, nothing can silence his command, not even the deepest night. You've been in a holding place, waiting without answers, watching others move forward while you wondered if your turn would ever come. But hear this, your turn is not coming, it has arrived. The dawn has already broken in the unseen, and soon it will break in the seen. This is not just encouragement, it is declaration. Heaven has moved on your behalf, and before this message ends, you will understand why your suffering was never wasted, why your prayers were never ignored, and why the morning had to wait until now. Stay with me, because what I will reveal in the moments ahead will not just inspire you, it will confirm what you've already felt in the secret places of your soul. The night is ending, the morning has been called, and you are about to see what happens when heaven keeps its word. The reason you can sense this shift so deeply is because the source of it does not come from man. This is not wishful thinking, not motivational fluff, not a temporary burst of encouragement that fades when the day grows heavy again. This word comes from the one who authored the night and who alone commands the morning. God is not merely observing your life, he is orchestrating it. The same voice that spoke light into the void is the voice declaring into your spirit now, it is time. What felt delayed has only been preserved. What seemed denied has only been prepared. And what you thought had died has only been resting until the exact appointed moment. You have wrestled with silence. You have prayed prayers that seem to disappear into empty air. But silence from heaven is not absence, it is strategy. God waits until the atmosphere aligns, until every piece of the unseen puzzle is placed, before he breaks through with clarity. That silence was the womb of your miracle. And now, the cry of birth has sounded. Understand this, your life has never been random. Even in the chaos, even in the mistakes, even in the seasons where you wondered if you had stepped too far outside of God's plan, still, the plan remained. Because what is called of heaven cannot be erased by earth. The anointing over your life is not fragile, it is forged. And the time of forging has reached its conclusion. Think of the morning. It does not rush in with explosions of noise. It begins with a whisper on the horizon, a hint of light breaking through the dark. Then, steadily, unshakably, the sun rises until no shadow can stand against it. That is the way God's word is unfolding over you right now. Quiet at first, undeniable at last. You've wondered why your name has been stirring in places you have not yet walked, why your presence is felt even when you are silent, why doors seem to know your knock before you touch them. It is because heaven has already introduced you. Your reputation in the Spirit has gone before you. And when God speaks your destiny into existence, even the gates of hell cannot unwrite the decree. This is why the coming moments are sacred, because what you are stepping into is not based on chance, not built on the opinions of others, not fragile like the approval of men. It is anchored in the eternal word of the living God. And if he says the night is over, then not even the memories of your darkest hour can drag you back into it. Take a breath right here. Let it sink in. You are not waiting for permission from the world. You have already been summoned by heaven. The same God who holds the galaxies in his hands has spoken directly into the fabric of your life, and his voice is the final authority. Hold this truth close as we move forward, because the revelation that is about to unfold will make sense of everything you've endured. The divine author has not only written your beginning, he is speaking your morning into existence right now, and his voice never returns empty. When God calls the morning, It is not just a change of scenery, it is a change of season. And the season he is declaring over you now is unlike anything you've known before. The prophecy is simple in its phrasing, but profound in its power. The night has ended, and the morning has begun. But what does this mean for your life? It means that what has been hidden will be revealed. What has been blocked will be open. What has been delayed will be accelerated. And what has felt cursed will now be crowned with blessing. The night was marked by confusion, by wandering, by waiting for a light that never seemed to come. You tried doors that would not open. You chased answers that never satisfied. You cried prayers that seemed swallowed by the silence. But God says those days are over. The prophecy is not vague. It is personal. Your morning has been summoned by name. Imagine the first ray of sunlight breaking through a battlefield that had been cloaked in shadow. Weapon drop. Fear dissolves. What once hunted you cannot even see you clearly anymore because the light has shifted the entire landscape. That is the moment you are in right now. The prophecy is not that trouble will never come again. The prophecy is that light will always expose it before it can consume you. The morning reveals what the night tried to hide. Those secret plots, those whispered lies, those chains built in the dark, they cannot survive the rising sun. And the rising sun has been called over your life. God is saying, I am restoring your sight. Where you stumbled in the dark, now you will walk with clarity. Where you felt drained and broken, now you will carry strength that seems unexplainable to those around you. Where you thought the story ended, now you will see fresh chapters unfolding. Hear me clearly. The prophecy over you is not survival, it is flourishing. You are not meant to crawl into the morning barely alive. You are meant to step into it with renewed breath, with sharpened vision, with an authority forged through everything the night tried to steal. Picture the dew on grass when the dawn breaks. Every drop glistens like jewels, reflecting the sun in 1,000 directions. That is you. Every scar you carry from the night will now glisten with the reflection of God's glory. You are no longer a victim of what you endured. You are a living testament to what could not destroy you. The prophecy is also timing. For years you asked, when? And heaven remained silent. But when God finally speaks, now, it does not matter who believes or who doubts, who supports or who resists. The now of God overrides the not yet of men. And the morning he has called for you is irreversible. You cannot be dragged back into a night that heaven has already ended. You cannot be shackled by chains that light has already dissolved. You cannot be labeled by mistakes that grace has already rewritten. What the Spirit is saying is this: do not confuse the residue of night with the reality of morning. Yes, you may still feel echoes of old wounds. Yes, you may still see shadows lingering at the edges, but do not mistake them for dominance. The prophecy declares they have no power in the new season. This is the hour where divine reversal begins to manifest. The very things meant to break you will build you. The very people who mocked you will witness your rising. The very ground where you fell will be the ground where you stand tall. So listen closely, because this prophecy is not just for inspiration. It is the roadmap of your next steps. God has declared the end of the night, but the meaning of this declaration will unfold piece by piece, sign by sign, as you walk into the morning. And that is where we must go next. To uncover the depth of this promise, to understand the spiritual architecture of why the night had to happen, why the morning had to wait, and why this moment right now is sacred beyond words. Every prophecy carries layers. It is never just a declaration of what will happen. It is also a revelation of why it had to happen, how it transforms you, and what it awakens in your spirit. The end of your night and the calling of your morning is not simply a shift in circumstance. It is a spiritual unveiling of divine timing, of faith refined, and of destiny set into motion. The night was not punishment, it was preparation. Think of a seed, buried in the ground, surrounded by darkness, pressed down by soil. From the outside, it looks lifeless, forgotten, hidden. But inside, something is happening. Roots are forming. The seed is splitting open to release what it carries. Without that darkness, the seed could never fulfill its purpose. Your night was that soil, and though it felt suffocating, it was creating the foundation for you to rise. Light always reveals what darkness conceals. The night hid your growth from those who would have tried to uproot it too soon. It kept your transformation quiet, away from the premature applause or the jealous sabotage of others. God, in His wisdom, allowed you to be unseen, not because you were unworthy, but because you were too valuable to be exposed before the time. Morning comes only when the roots are strong enough to carry the weight of what will grow. Faith, too, is forged in night seasons. Anyone can believe when the sky is bright and everything goes their way. But when prayers echo back in silence, when doors remain locked, when tears stain the pillow night after night, faith becomes something more than belief. It becomes endurance. It becomes fire-tested trust. And when the morning arrives, that kind of faith cannot be shaken. It is immovable because it has survived the unthinkable. There is also a reason the morning is gradual. It begins with a faint glimmer, then expands until the whole sky bows to it. God designed it this way because revelation comes in layers. If He gave you the full picture all at once, it would overwhelm you. But in His mercy, He unveils step by step, moment by moment, until suddenly you look back and realize how far you've come. The spiritual meaning of your night ending is also tied to cycles. All of creation testifies to this rhythm. Seasons turn, tides shift, stars move. Winter does not last forever. Spring always follows. Your night was a winter season, but the prophecy ensures that spring has now arrived. This is not just poetry, it is principle. God Himself set creation in cycles to remind you. Nothing dark is permanent. No storm lasts forever. And every ending carries the seed of a beginning. Destiny operates on alignment. That's why your night could not end sooner. It wasn't just about your readiness. It was about the readiness of everything connected to you. God has been aligning people, opportunities, even enemies, in such a way that when your morning arrives, everything fits like pieces of a puzzle. This is why you couldn't force it, why every shortcut failed. Because the morning is not man-made, it is divinely called. Consider the image of a locked door. You pressed against it for years, wondering why it wouldn't open, accusing yourself of weakness. But the truth is, the key wasn't forged yet. Heaven was still shaping it, and when the time came, God placed it in your hand. Now the door doesn't resist you, it swings wide. The night was about shaping the key. The morning is about walking through the doorway. There's also a deeper meaning to the phrase, God called the morning. In Scripture, when God calls, creation obeys. He spoke light, and light appeared. He spoke waters, and oceans gathered. His call is not suggestion, it is command. So when He calls morning over your life, it means nothing. No person, no demon, no delay can hold back what He has summoned. The spiritual principle here is authority. Your life is not subject to the whims of darkness. It is subject to the Word of God. And finally, the meaning of morning is renewal. Your night was marked by endings, losses, failures, grief. But morning is marked by beginnings. Every loss will become a lesson. Every failure will become fuel. Every grief will be transfigured into grace. Morning is God's way of saying, I am not finished with you. Your story continues. So as you step into this morning, know this. You are not simply moving from one day to another. You are moving from hiddenness to revelation, from survival to thriving, from despair to divine destiny. The meaning of this moment is transformation at its deepest level. And soon, you will see the signs that confirm it. They will not be random. They will be undeniable whispers from heaven that say, yes, this is real. Yes, the morning is yours. When heaven shifts, earth gives signals. God never calls a morning without leaving evidence that it has begun. These signs may not always appear as fireworks or grand announcements, but they carry weight. They are whispers that only your spirit can recognize. Reminders that what has been declared in heaven is already unfolding in your life. One sign you may notice is the sudden stirring of restlessness. Not the anxious kind, but a holy unease that tells you, I cannot stay where I was. It is the sense that old places no longer fit, that certain conversations feel empty, that the rooms you once tolerated now drain you. This restlessness is not rebellion, it is relocation. It is God preparing your spirit to walk into new ground. Another sign is the return of strength. Where you once felt tired, drained, and ready to give up, suddenly there is an unexplainable energy within you. It's not about sleep or nutrition, it's a spiritual vitality that comes when the breath of God begins to stir your bones. You wake up with vision again. You pray with fire again. You dream with courage again. This is evidence that the night no longer holds you. There will also be doors small at first that begin to open. Opportunities you did not chase. Connections you did not orchestrate. Favor that seems to find you without striving. Pay attention to these doors. They may appear ordinary, but each one is a key leading you further into the morning. Do not despise the small beginnings. They are heaven's confirmation that the larger gates are on their way. A fourth sign is exposure. Things and people once hidden in shadow begin to show their true nature. Friends reveal themselves, motives become clear, and truth rises to the surface. It may feel uncomfortable, but this too is a blessing. The light of morning exposes what night tried to conceal, protecting you from walking blindly into traps. Discernment sharpens as a shield around you. Fifth, you may sense a shift in your emotions. Where heaviness once chained your heart, now peace lingers longer. Where grief once dominated, joy breaks through like sunlight. This isn't to say every day will feel perfect, but there will be an undeniable undercurrent of calm that wasn't there before. It's the peace that passes understanding, confirmation that heaven has shifted your atmosphere. And finally, listen for the whispers in prayer. You will notice scriptures leaping off the page, songs aligning with your spirit, words arriving at the exact moment you need them. God will confirm his call in countless subtle ways until you cannot deny that the morning is real. These signs are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are the fingerprints of God on your path, assuring you that you are not imagining this new season, you are living in it. Yet, as the signs unfold, you must also prepare for the challenges that accompany them. Because every morning comes with shadows trying to linger. Every breakthrough comes with resistance trying to hold on. That is where we must go next. Every new morning carries its beauty, but it also carries its battles. When God calls the dawn, the darkness does not simply vanish without a fight. It lingers at the edges, trying to pull you back, hoping you'll confuse its fading presence for lasting power. That is why, even as the signs of breakthrough appear, you may encounter hidden challenges designed to test your resolve. The first challenge is the voice of doubt. Though you feel the shift, though you see the signs, a whisper may creep in. What if this isn't real? What if you're only imagining it? This voice is subtle but persistent. Its purpose is to make you question the very promise God has spoken. Remember, doubt is not proof of failure. It is proof that something worth believing in has been planted inside you. The second challenge is opposition from others. As your morning breaks, not everyone will celebrate. Some who were comfortable with your night will resist your dawn. They may mock your new vision, minimize your progress, or try to bind you with old labels. This is not because you are wrong, it is because light exposes what they would rather keep hidden. Do not let their resistance distract you from your rising. Another challenge comes in the form of delay that feels contradictory. Just as doors begin to open, you may find certain opportunities still stalling. It may feel unfair, as though the morning is partial. But hear me, these delays are not denials. They are strategic pauses, ensuring you don't step too quickly into spaces that are not yet prepared to hold you. Patience here is not weakness, it is wisdom. A fourth challenge is weariness. Strange as it sounds, even blessings can feel heavy when you are adjusting to a new season. Responsibilities increase. Expectations shift. The very expansion you prayed for may stretch you more than you anticipated. But this stretching is not to break you, it is to strengthen the capacity God has built in you through the night. And finally, there is the challenge of temptation. When light exposes the path, the enemy often tries to lure you off course with shortcuts. Options that look easier, faster, more glamorous. But shortcuts never lead to destiny. They only circle you back into cycles. Guard your steps. Stay aligned with the instructions of God, because the true path may be narrower, but it leads to life. Do not misinterpret these challenges as punishment. They are not proof that God has abandoned you. They are evidence that you are transitioning. Tests always come before testimony. The presence of resistance is confirmation that you are moving into territory worth fighting for. So when doubt rises, anchor yourself in the Word. When opposition comes, stand firm in your identity. When delays linger, trust God's timing. When weariness weighs on you, lean on His strength. And when temptation whispers, cling to His truth. For every hidden challenge, there is a hidden grace. And just as the night could not stop the dawn, neither can these trials stop the fulfillment of what God has called. Now, having faced the challenges, we must ask, how do you walk wisely through this morning? What specific instructions has heaven set for you so that you can step fully into what has been prepared? That is where we turn next. When the night ends and the morning begins, you cannot walk as you did before. What sustained you in darkness will not sustain you in light. Every new season requires new posture, new vision, new habits. This is why God, in His mercy, not only calls the morning but also gives instructions for how to live in it. The first instruction is simple yet powerful. Guard your mind. The battlefield of destiny is fought in thought. Even as the light breaks, the enemy will still try to cast shadows across your mind, whispers of fear, echoes of failure, reminders of mistakes. But you cannot carry old thought patterns into new seasons. Replace them with the Word. Every time a lie rises up, confront it with truth. Every time fear stirs, declare faith. Your morning depends on your ability to think as one who has already been delivered. The second instruction: speak what you see. Not what you fear, not what others predict, but what God has revealed. Your words create atmosphere. In the night, silence may have held you, but in the morning, your voice becomes a weapon. Speak life over your future, blessing over your steps, clarity over your choices. Do not underestimate the power of declaring what heaven has already decreed. The third: move with obedience, even in small things. Sometimes the temptation in a new season is to wait for grand signs before taking action. But destiny unfolds step by step. If God nudges you to send that message, do it. If He tells you to walk away from that habit, obey. If He whispers to rise early in prayer, rise. The small obediences are not small at all. They are seeds that multiply into harvest. The fourth: protect your atmosphere. Who you allow near you in this season matters more than ever. Not every voice deserves access to your morning. Some voices carry residue of the night, and if you're not careful, they'll try to drag you back into shadows. Surround yourself with people who speak faith, not fear, who celebrate your growth, not resent it, who push you forward, not hold you back. The fifth: stay anchored in gratitude. It is easy, once morning comes, to forget the lessons of the night, to run ahead without pausing to thank the God who carried you through. But gratitude keeps you grounded. It reminds you that the light you walk in is not self-made. It is a gift. Begin your days with thanksgiving, and you will find that joy flows more freely. The sixth: keep your eyes on the horizon, not the shadows. The light exposes what is behind you, but your gaze must remain forward. Do not dwell on old wounds. Do not replay old failures. Do not rehearse what God has already erased. Lift your head, fix your eyes on what is unfolding, and walk with confidence. And seventh: do not rush. The morning is steady, not frantic. It unfolds with purpose, not panic. Your destiny will not be missed if you walk in rhythm with God. Do not compare your pace to others. The sun rises in its appointed time, and so will your full manifestation. These instructions are not burdens, they are gifts. They are the blueprint to carry you through your morning with clarity and authority. Ignore them, and you risk stumbling. Honor them, and you will flourish. Understand this: divine instruction is not about control, it is about protection. God gives you steps not to limit you, but to free you. Not to restrict your life, but to expand it in the right direction. So let this be your resolve. Guard your mind, speak life, obey quickly, protect your atmosphere, stay grateful, look ahead, and walk at God's pace. If you anchor yourself in these steps, no challenge can derail you and no shadow can lure you back. And as you follow these instructions, something remarkable begins to happen. Assurance grows, fear decreases, peace strengthens, because the same God who called the morning is also the one who surrounds you in it. And His protection is not fragile, it is fierce. That is the next revelation you need to hold. The same God who calls the morning does not leave you to walk into it unguarded. When light breaks over your life, it not only reveals opportunities, it also exposes you to new levels of attention. Some will celebrate your rising, others will resist it. But here is the assurance: you do not rise alone. All around you, unseen yet unshakable, there is a hedge, a shield crafted not by human hands but by the hand of the Almighty. It is the kind of protection that does not merely defend, it surrounds. You are not covered only from one side, but from every side. Before you, behind you, above you, beneath you, there is presence, and that presence is God Himself. Remember the night you walked through? It may have felt as though you were abandoned, but if you look back carefully, you'll see the truth. You were carried. Every attack that could have taken you out was intercepted. Every trap that could have ended you was dismantled before you even saw it. The fact that you are here listening now is proof that heaven's protection never left you. And if it never left you in the dark, it will surely not abandon you in the light. God's assurance is not fragile comfort, it is fierce covering. Picture the wings of an eagle stretched wide over her young. No predator dares approach, because the shadow of those wings signals power. That is the covering over your life. The shadow of the Almighty has claimed you, and nothing formed against you can prosper beneath it. And not only are you shielded from harm, you are also surrounded with guidance. Protection is not just about safety, it is about direction. The Spirit goes before you like a pillar of fire, illuminating your steps. When you do not know which way to turn, His presence whispers, "This is the way, walk in it." Even in confusion, there is clarity waiting for you. Be at peace with this truth. You are not stepping into the morning to figure it all out on your own. You are stepping into it escorted by heaven's armies, wrapped in divine light, carried by promises that cannot fail. Yes, there may be battles. Yes, there may be resistance. But none of it will consume you. Your destiny is not fragile. Your morning is not vulnerable. It is sealed with protection, guarded by assurance, sustained by love. So breathe, rest, move forward with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing, no matter what rises against you, God rises higher. And as His protection surrounds you, it ushers you toward the greatest part of this journey, your transformation and fulfillment. Protection is not the end of the story, it is the stage for transformation. Because when God calls the morning, He does not just shield you from the remnants of night, He ushers you into the fullness of what He has prepared. And this is where everything you endured, everything you waited for, everything you believed through tears, begins to take shape before your eyes. The transformation is first inward. The weight that once pressed on your heart is lifted. Peace becomes your foundation, not fear. Where shame once whispered, now boldness speaks. You begin to walk not as one who is merely surviving, but as one who is chosen, marked, and sent. This inward shift is the truest sign of fulfillment, when you no longer see yourself through the lens of the night but through the vision of the morning. But it does not stop inward. Transformation overflows outward, touching everything connected to you. Relationships realign, resources multiply, opportunities unfold. Your very presence begins to shift rooms, because you carry the residue of morning light. Wherever you go, atmospheres respond. People sense peace, hope, and clarity just by being near you. This is the evidence that fulfillment has begun. You are no longer shaped by circumstance. Circumstance bends to the spirit within you. And fulfillment comes in visible breakthroughs too. Prayers that felt unanswered suddenly receive response. Dreams that felt delayed suddenly find momentum. What you thought would take years is accomplished in days, because God's timing does not operate by human calendars. This is acceleration, the divine catch-up that happens when heaven decides the waiting is over. Picture a dawn sky shifting into full daylight. At first it is subtle hints of orange and gold stretching across the horizon, but within moments, the whole world is bathed in light. That is what your fulfillment will feel like. One moment you are standing in fragments, the next moment the whole picture is clear. One moment you are carrying lack, the next moment overflow surrounds you. It will be undeniable, because no one, not even you, will be able to explain it apart from God. And the impact of this transformation is generational. What breaks open for you does not end with you. The chains snapped in your night will never be passed down. The blessings called in your morning will flow through your bloodline. Your children will live in light you fought to see. Your family will eat fruit from trees you planted with tears. This is fulfillment at its highest, when what God does in you becomes a legacy that cannot be erased. Fulfillment also means vindication. The very people who doubted, dismissed, or mocked your faith will have to acknowledge your rising. Not because you proved them wrong, but because God proves Himself faithful. Your story becomes living evidence that no word spoken by Him returns void. And as this fulfillment unfolds, gratitude will become the song of your life. Not forced, but overflowing. Because when you stand in what you once begged for, the only response is worship. Every scar becomes a testimony. Every delay becomes a miracle in disguise. Every night becomes a memory of how faithful God is to keep His word. This is the promise of your morning. Not only survival, not only glimpses of hope, but full transformation and lasting fulfillment. And as the light settles fully over your life, one final thing must be spoken, a seal, an affirmation, a blessing to carry with you as you walk into the days ahead. Now the word has been spoken, the prophecy revealed, and the meaning made clear. But before you walk away, let this moment be sealed. Because a morning called by God is not just an event, it is a covenant. And that covenant is strengthened every time you declare it, every time you align your spirit with heaven's decree. So take these affirmations and let them rest on your lips. Say them when you wake. Say them when shadows try to whisper. Say them when doubt tries to creep in. These are not empty phrases. They are weapons of light, anchors for your soul, echoes of God's promise. Affirmation 1. The night is over. God has called my morning. Let this be your foundation. Every time old pain tries to resurface, remind yourself you are no longer defined by what was. Your identity is in what is now. Affirmation 2. I walk in divine timing. No delay can deny me. This is your guard against impatience. When things don't unfold instantly, remember the morning is not a rush. It is a steady unveiling. God's timing is perfect, and you are moving in sync with it. Affirmation 3. I am protected, guided, and surrounded. Say it until fear loses its grip. Say it until peace becomes your constant. Say it until you truly feel the covering of heaven around you. Affirmation 4. My life is transforming. Fulfillment is my portion. This one seals the promise. You are not in process without progress. Transformation is active in you. Fulfillment is unfolding around you, and nothing can reverse it. And now, receive the blessing. May your heart never again believe the lie of abandonment. May your spirit stay attuned to the whispers of God's guidance. May your hands carry fruit that blesses not only you, but generations after you. May every step you take be illuminated by light that cannot be extinguished. And may you live daily in the joy of knowing the night has ended, the morning has been called, and you are walking in it. This is not just a message, it is a decree. Heaven has spoken it. Faith has received it. Now you will live it. So go forward in peace, in strength, in confidence. The morning is not on its way, it is here. And as you rise in it, may your life be the living proof that God's word is unshakable.